To Be Hero X. I'm gonna do other videos just for every I'm gonna do other videos just for every hero, just whenever their story wraps up. As of now, we're on Lucky Scion. The only two heroes we have completed is Lin-ling / Nice, or the Commoner, and Esol. But this video will be on Lin-ling / Nice. So anyway, just a quick rundown of the story and our setting. In the world of To Be Hero X, people are given a trust value number based on how many people trust them. And the higher this trust value is, the more power you have. Now, I'm not sure if just everyone has it, or if it's like a select group of people actually have the ability to gain trust value. But the higher your trust value, the stronger you are. You can climb up in what's called the hero rankings, which isn't like anything special, right? It's just top 10 heroes, and then you got everybody else below that, which even if you're not in the top 10, that doesn't mean you're just some scrub. Now, it also would work in a sort of opposite way for the villains of this universe. They have what I would think is a fear value to give them power. Higher the fear, stronger they are. Now, we haven't seen this fear value on any villains. We've seen them with abilities, and we've seen them with power, but we haven't seen them with a fear value. There's only two organizations you need to know about in Lin-ling's story, and that is Treeman and Spotlight. Treeman is a hero organization that only has one like actual top hero, and that is or was Nice, until Nice killed himself. We don't know why he killed himself or what kind of drove him to it, but we do know that he killed himself. I mean, they show it to us. And the other organization, Spotlight, they kind of have some form of fear boosting abilities. In some way, they are able to boost fear. We see them take a hero and boost his fear to a way that he becomes a villain. I'm not sure if that was just kind of like an oversight, and it's like, oh, we really didn't think about him not having any fear value, or if it's like Spotlight can take someone's trust value and just completely negate it or turn it into fear value. I'm not sure. But now that you know just a little bit about the world, let's talk about Lin-ling. Some key moments with Lin-ling that you have to know about is he gets fired from his job in the first episode because his boss told him to send in a report or a kind of advertisement, and the advertisement wasn't up to Treeman standards. So his boss fired him. So Lin-ling was going to jump off the building and kill himself, or at least that's what is implied. And instead, Nice came down and killed himself right in front of Lin-ling. Some people show up, they kidnap Lin-ling. Through noticing that Lin-ling kind of looks like Nice, they hire him to play Nice, just to be like Nice, his replacement, without letting the public know that Nice killed himself. So at first, they put on some spray on hair dye, they put on some contacts, they're doing his makeup just to kind of make him look more like Nice. And eventually the people are convinced, and he just gets white hair. He just gets blue eyes. He just gets Nice's kind of facial structure. But then he ends up meeting Nice's girlfriend, Moon, which Lin-ling has been making her commercials and stuff for years now. he's been making all of her adverts and things like that. And he ends up running into this hero who is kind of like known for bringing out the truth in things, although he is pretty low ranked. I guess like 260 or 259, somewhere in there. He intended to show the people that, hey, Nice and Moon aren't actually dating. It's a fabrication by Treeman to sell you bullshit, right? Lin-ling thought this was like, oh, he's trying to expose me. He's trying to tell everyone that I'm not actually nice. But fortunately, the questions were on Moon. So he was able to fly through this test like green. The hero ends up bringing out his boss, who was, I think he was fired. He might have been fired, or he was just angry because I think he was losing his business because Treeman was his like main source of income. They were paying top dollar for their ads, but also they weren't paying him for all the constant revisions and the constant denials and just being like, nah, this is ass, we don't want it. So now that Lin-ling's old boss is kind of a villain, him and Lin-ling just duke it out. In the end, Lin-ling is just kind of like, what if it was me who jumped instead? Why did Nice do that? You know, why did he have to put me in this situation? He's thinking to himself, am I really capable of being someone as good as Nice, someone as perfect, someone as cool? And then he gets up and he's kind of like, you know what? Yeah, I got this. I have to. I'm going to prove that anyone can be a hero. And he ends up beating his boss. Episode 2 is just kind of over how Moon doesn't want to be in the situation. It's kind of showing how the world of To Be Hero X is like kind of binding. Okay, how do I explain this for Moon? If they want to see you not do something bad enough, you can't go against it. Because Moon wanted to continue traveling the world, but she couldn't do that because people wanted to just see her with Nice. They only wanted to see Moon with Nice. They don't want Moon doing anything else. So it made her powers only have the ability to teleport to Nice's side. She couldn't go anywhere else. So that whole episode was basically just her getting free of all the responsibility and kind of spotlight she had as Nice's girlfriend. In the end, they kind of just like stage her death. Now, something I should mention is that but the main reason Moon was able to get set free was because Lin-ling just wanted to help her. Even though it was in his best interest for her to stay there. You know, he gets married to her. He gets the girl. He gets superpower at the end of the day. This kind of gives us our first glimpses that Lin-ling isn't here to just have the glory, fame, and the women. Lin-ling genuinely wants to be a hero. He is a real, I just want to help people. Episode 3 gives us a bit of a more extreme example as to how the power system is kind of restrictive on its users. Through our character, Firm Man, I'm going to drop in here and say that I went way too much into detail and got too fixated on what Firm Man was, when all you really need to know is that Firm Man got his powers from saving a little girl. He held up the building, the debris, for I don't remember how long it was. I'll put it up on the screen. His drawback was that he could not bend his knees. He couldn't sit down and take a shit. He couldn't lay down. That showed us how the power system can literally affect your daily life. With Moon, it just kind of showed how her powers could no longer work in her favor. With this guy, he literally could not do a basic human function because of his believers. The main villain of the episode, Wolf Girl, was the girl that Firm Man had saved all those years ago. And her whole thing was just trying to get Firm Man to stop being Firm Man. She wanted him to just be a normal dude again. Because she seen how the power had started affecting him even in his early days of being a hero. And Lin-ling was there as a mediator, just kind of telling Furman, yo, this is that girl you saved all those years ago. All she wants is for you to take off the boots, man. She just wants you to stop being a hero. And I really do not know the aspect of losing your powers in this world other than losing your trust value. I don't get how you can just abandon your abilities, because Furman is crying and he just his fucking boots just shatter. Lin-ling comes in and he's holding up the statue for a little bit, but he's struggling a lot more than Furman. But people start live streaming, start recording, and his trust value starts going up, and he gains it. He lifts it. You know, this makes sense. This shows Lin-ling was not top. He wasn't in the 10. He wasn't number 10 until people started giving him more trust, and then he was able to lift it, and that put him in the number 10 spot. As nice. All right, so yeah, now that I've kind of cut that whole segment down by a large margin, we're gonna go back to that old recording where I'm like tired of shit. Our final episode 4, the hero and lighter who had gotten the boost in fear value from Spotlight. When he had gotten that fear value boost from Spotlight, he kind of kidnaps Moon, shows people like, hey, look, Moon's not dead. They faked the whole thing for Nice's publicity. They just wanted people to like Nice just that much more. And then we see the kind of, if your fans don't want you to do something, you can't do it. Yet again, because of course Lin-ling wants to go help Moon, and that's just not possible because all of his fans are like, no, Nice, don't do it, don't go. Because if he does go, then that would mean that they really did fake Moon's death. Lin-ling is kind of giving up until he's just like, you know what? I have to do something. You know, I'm going to be a hero. I have to help Moon. And he just goes against what the fans are saying, and he just starts losing his powers. Now, his weren't as his weren't as immediate as Furman's, because he does get out the tower and then he flies over to the guy, what's his name, in lighter. Lin-ling shows up on the scene and he's losing his powers very quickly. He's already unable to really keep up with God-Eye. He's just getting tossed around, dude. And God-Eye's just like, why are you doing this? Why are you still trying to fight me? You know, Lin-ling has already told everyone, like, yeah, Nice is dead. I've been cosplaying as Nice this whole time. I'm sorry. But he still continues to fight God-Eye. He's just like, man, I don't really care for all that. You got Moon. Moon's in danger. I need to help Moon. And for a little bit, like I said, he was getting tossed around. He was getting beat like a fucking pulp, beat to a pulp, until God-Eye puts him up in this like position where he's like on these two like tripod things. He's just hanging there. And Lin-ling kind of gives a speech about how anyone can be a hero and he's gonna prove that. And then from that, everyone was like, you know what? Who is this guy? What was his name again? His name's Lin-ling. So people start trusting him. They see that he really does want to be a hero. And God-Eye has kind of put him in this perfect position where he's broadcasting to the entire, probably just where their world takes place. I want to say it's China, but I'm not sure. He's broadcasting to the entire city, entire nation. Okay, he is broadcasting to the entire nation what is going on. That if that's not the perfect like position to gain trust value, I don't know what is. So because of that, he starts turning the tide. He's kind of whooping in lighter now, and we see that the three other corporations are already trying to like, man, we got to get on this guy. What was his name again? It was like, he don't have a hero name. You know, he just kind of popped up. He ends up doing this, like, you know, the classic This hit can kill you. Okay, if I hit you with this, you're dead. Your whole head's coming off your body. But he doesn't hit him with it. He just stops perfectly right in front of him. It just tears up the entire building behind him, and he's like, you know what? I'm not gonna do it to you. And the lighter just kind of falls, kind of passes out. And then Lin-ling just like, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm a hero. And he goes to help Moon, and he realizes that it's a fake doll. He never had Moon to begin with. And after that, he kind of adapts this hero name as the Commoner, which is probably just because in the moment of him gaining his powers, nobody knew who he was. There was nothing special about Lin-ling. He was just a hero. I mean, they could have gave him the name The Hero for all sake, but he was just kind of given the Commoner because there was no special status about him. So through all that, Lin-ling then goes and he gets the portal gun from Moon, and he goes to the island. He's like, yo, Moon, what's up? How you doing here? And she's kind of relieved because she's been trying to send bottles out saying like, someone help her. You know, she's been barely surviving on this island. And they kind of have this cute moment, and they're just like, man, I'm so glad to see you. I was getting kind of worried. And then that fuck nigga E-Soul blows her brains out. Just kills Moon for whatever reason. Probably not going to get that reasoning until season 2. I think Nice is the embodiment in this universe of just heroism. Anyone can be a hero. Just a good dude. We see time and time again that all Nice wants to do is just help. He just wants to help people. He just wants to be a hero. He doesn't really care about nothing else, or the fame, or the money, and the women. He just wants to be a hero. He's a good dude. Even when he didn't have powers, he literally risked his life in a situation where there was no way for him to win to help Moon. I also think that his arc, not only was it just about him and his journey, it was a very good starter arc for kind of knowing the ins and outs of the universe and the power system. Now, there are still some things that need to be questioned, like how was he and Furman able to just bypass their restrictions or their powers? You know, how were they able to do that? Can a user of this power system just discard the power at any point in time? And if so, why didn't Furman do it sooner? Also, there's like a poll thing where heroes are given this IRL vote counter, and currently Lin-ling is at number 1. The Commoner is at number 1. He hasn't dropped from there since the Commoner episode released, and I don't think he will, honestly. Basically just due to the fact that he was the first one we seen, the first hero in the show. And the way it's going to play out is in season 2, whoever's at the top, that's who's going to like kind of be the winner of the tournament. It would be interesting to see every character's ambition be fulfilled, because we know that Queen wants to change the rules of the world. Okay. And then we also know that Dragon Boy wants to bring despair upon the world or something like that. Anyways, that pretty much wraps it up for Lin-ling / Nice. Not really Nice. I'm going to do another episode for Nice himself and my thoughts on him. And then I'm going to do an episode for E-Soul, which, oh my god. So I'm a little more awake, a little more lively. I want to just talk more about Lin-ling, because like Lin-ling, man, I just keep using like. I'm gonna try and lean off that. Hopefully, like future videos, I'm not using it that much. See, I did it again without like. Damn, bro. Okay, Lin-ling is genuinely my favorite character thus far. I hate E-Soul. That dude is a complete shithead, and I'm gonna go over that some other time. Lin-ling is such a goated character to me because of how much how much he embodies genuine heroism. In the beginning, it's kind of like he's playing this facade, and he was just pretending as nice. But to him, it wasn't that he got to be nice, it was that he got to be a hero. Right? At least that's how I was viewing Lin-ling's story. It wasn't about being nice. It was about being a hero. He could help people. In that moment where he's having a talk with Wolf Girl and Furman, he's genuinely just like trying to solve a problem. He's trying to bring things to a resolution that everyone can be happy with. Sure, the fans of Furman aren't going to be too happy, but he's trying to get it to where Furman and Wolf Girl can both be happy. They can settle their debacle. Even when he came up with the idea that, hey, Moon can get out of this if something were to happen that would cause us to break up, that would stop us from being married. Now, he did have like feelings for Moon, so to think that he was just okay, he was like, all right, I'm just gonna help her. You know what I'm saying? He could have been greedy and selfish and just kept her to himself, just put her in a position that she couldn't do anything, because we don't know how long her and Nice were together. Nice never, or presumably, it's safe to assume that Nice never tried to help her get out of that situation, because this idea that Lin-ling proposed just seemed like something that's not too far out. Like, anyone should have thought of this, yet somehow Lin-ling was the one to come up with it and be like, okay, we just have to have something to split us up. We just have to, some big event, some major thing that cannot be changed. And then the final fight between Lin-ling and God Eye, it was that hero moment. Like, it was the hero moment. He had no more powers. He used the last of his power to fly up to that building, and with no abilities was just fighting. Granted, he was getting his ass whooped. He was getting beat and tossed around for a little bit, but he was still fighting for Moon. And even when he had the upper hand, and he could have very easily killed the main villain for kidnapping someone he loved, he didn't. He is a hero. He didn't kill bro. And then the way I'm taking this is he's seen and heard how God Eye, right, had no idea where Moon was. This dude's whole thing is knowing everything about people. Okay, he literally, off of a small altercation with that fisty dude, he knew everything about him. He knew he was stuffing his gloves, everything. He just knew, bro. And yet, still, he didn't know where Moon was. So I guess the way I'm taking that is, after hearing that, Lin-ling thought to himself, if this guy doesn't know where she is, that means there's a problem. So he used her gun and he opened a portal to her. He got to her, he found her, he was like, oh my gosh, you're all right. And then she was happy, she was about to leave, and then that dude, Isol, just killed her. No idea why. We didn't even get that answered in Isol's saga, because the way that the show is structured, it's going further and further back in time for each hero story. Now, there's a few heroes who will have only 1 or 2 episodes. I'm so happy that Lin-ling was the only one. Not even really like he was the only one. I'm happy that he's the one who got 4 full episodes to himself. Yeah, that's all I wanted to get on here and say, now that I'm a little more awake, a little more lively, a little more active, is that Lin-ling is the best character in To Be Hero X. Now, I think X himself will also be a very good character, because from what we can see in his trailers, he's just keeps to himself. I mean, he doesn't even have an organization that he's contracted to like anyone else on the top 10 roster. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to start editing this video, and I hope to see you in the next video that I'm gonna have for ESOL.